Okay. The next topic is a very important topic, which is computing statistics. So, summary statistics, so you can have count, min, max, sum, mean, median, MAD, mean absolute deviation from mean, and so on. And of course, there is one called describe, and describe is a collection of statistics, like it will have the mean, standard deviation, the minimum value, maximum value, and the 5-number summary, min, max, and then the 3 quartiles. Okay. And there is a whole bunch of other stuff is also available. So if you run df7 data frame and just say describe, the describe is going to give you these 5-number summary here plus 3 more, count, mean, and standard deviation. So you have 8 statistics. So that's your describe. We've already seen describe before, if you remember. Okay. Now, if you are interested in a particular one, then you can always, okay, let me show you. So if you say df7 dot mean will give you the mean. Okay. Or if you want only selected columns, so you can specify what column you want and then what statistic you want. So that will then give that statistic to you. Okay. All right. So you turn here, find the descriptive statistics for, okay. So that's pretty straightforward. So dfq17c, okay, and then you say describe, okay. Now you see describe applies, it doesn't apply automatically, it applies only to numerical columns. All the other columns are omitted. You don't get an error here. Okay. When you define a function yourself, then you have to code the function in such a way that it doesn't generate errors. You check whether the column passed is numeric or not, and so on. The describe already does all that for us, so you don't have that error. So we can try another one. Say you want the standard deviation, so dfq17c, okay, and then std. And again, you see that all the other columns which are not numeric columns are automatically suppressed. Okay, only the numeric columns are taken for applying the function. Now, if you have missing values, what will happen to these descriptive statistics, the mean and the median and so on? Will that mess things up? Okay, if you're in a column, you have missing values, right? So, for example, you set up a data frame D of 8, and this is D of 8. Now, it has some missing values in between, right? Now, there is a keyword called skip NA. Okay, sometimes this is necessary, but here, for the statistics that we talked about, skip NA is true, and that's your default. So if there is any missing values, that missing values will be taken out, and the function will be applied to the rest of them. So you don't say anything, okay, right? Just sum, then it's going to give you the sum and no problem, no error. Okay. Same here with mean. Okay. But you want to make sure that there are no missing values in the column, and if there are any missing values, you want to be able to catch that. Okay, because if you just don't say anything, it's going to give you a result, and you may never be the wiser whether there was any missing value in the column or not, because it's going to automatically suppress. If you think that you should know whether there is any missing value, then you can say missing value in a skip NA equal to false. Then what will happen is, if there are any missing values, then the value that is returned back to you is missing. If even one missing value is there, then it's going to come back missing. So this way, there are instances where either of these two cases may be what you desire. Okay, if you desire, you know that there are some missing values, and you don't want to be messed, you don't want to mess with that, and you want missing values to be suppressed, then don't do anything. Okay. But if you want to catch the situation that there are missing values, then you have to specify skip NA equal to false. Then it's not going to skip, so it's going to now tell you whether there is, if there are missing values, then you're going to have NaN. Okay. Good so far? Okay. Now there is one more very important functionality that's important for us, and that is called group by. So what group by will do? Group by has to be an object variable, a categorical variable. Okay. So group by will group the numerical values according to the different levels of the group by variable. So the numerical values will be grouped. So suppose if major is what you want to group by. So, and there are 3 different majors. So the rows here will be grouped by each of the 3 majors, and the statistic will be calculated for each of those groups. That's what group by means. So I'm just adding to DF7 a categorical variable or an object variable, so state. So now I have state, and in between there are missing values too. Okay, missing values, this is the way to specify missing value, np.nan, which is, it uses the NumPy missing value sentinel called NaN, and that will come in as this, NaN, uppercase NaN. That's how it remembers that that's a missing value. So I have DF7, and I've added this column state. So we have the V1, V2, V3, and then we have a column called state. I say DF7 group by state. Okay, so now that's going to sort these records by state. So all the Tn are grouped together, and all the Ga are grouped together, and all the NaN will be grouped together, and they will be omitted by default. So group by, this has to be a categorical variable or an object variable, okay, and then you apply a statistic. Okay, that statistic will be applied to each level of state. So you have Georgia, okay, mean for V1, V2, V3, and Tn for V1, V2, V3. So that's what group by does. Now, if you want the mean of missing values also, okay, then that's sometimes useful for imputing missing values. If you want to impute missing values in a numeric column, and you want the mean of the numeric variable for the missing values of the categorical variable. Okay. So in that case, you say it's not skip NA. Skip NA is for computing a mean. Drop NA is when you group. The drop NA is for the group by variable. For the group by variable, the default is if there are any missing values in the group by variable, and those are thrown away, and non-missing values are grouped, okay, and then the statistics is calculated. Now if you say drop NA equal to false, then the missing values also, missing values will be considered as a group by itself. And for that group, what is the mean? Okay. So that's what you include drop NA equal to false. It should work. It worked at home for me when I worked at it. When I set it up, it was working fine. But anyway, so I'll look into it and let you know. Okay. All right. So let's get into your turn. Find the mean. Okay. So we want the mean grouped by smoker status. Okay. So we have DFQ17C, right? And then you say group by, okay, so group by is smoker. Okay. And then mean. Okay. So since age and weight are the only two numeric columns, I didn't really have to specify what column. So it's going to apply only to numeric columns, and weight and age are the only two. So you got it. But if you have a subset of, okay, then you have to, so you want only for some of them, not all of them, then you specify that at the end, okay, and you have the indexing square bracket, and then you have to provide list, and that's in a second square bracket. So now you get it only for age, and if you say weight, then you'll get it for both. Okay. Now that is for the first part, which is mean. Now the second one is DFQ17C, grouped by, again, you're grouping by smoker, and then okay, age and weight are the only two, so I'm going to skip that list part. STD. Okay. So here this is sample standard deviation. If you don't want sample standard deviation, then you have to specify DD of equal to 0. So then you'll get population standard deviation. Okay. If you leave it off, then DD of will be 1 by default. Okay.